Ladies, I need you to understand something about men. A lot of times, you think a man doesn't care because he acts unbothered. You think because he's walking around like everything's fine, he's moved on. Let me tell you something. Men don't always show their emotions the way women do. Men are built to hide things. Pride, ego, and fear of looking weak make them act like they don't care. But if a man regrets losing you, you will see it. Not always with grand declarations, not always with apologies or begging, but with the little things he does that tell the real story. You just have to know what to look for. The first thing you'll notice when a man regrets losing you is that he begins to notice everything about you that he took for granted. Women, let me break it down. Men tend to get comfortable. They take you for granted when they're with you because they assume you'll always be there. But the moment you're gone, everything you were to him comes into focus. He remembers the way you laughed at his stupid jokes even when they weren't funny. He remembers how you cared for him when no one else would. He remembers the little things, like how you always knew when he was upset without him saying a word. That's the first sign of regret. He's looking at his life and realizing no one else will ever match up to what you gave him. That comparison starts creeping into his mind whether he wants it to or not. He'll compare every woman he meets to you, and none of them will measure up. And you know what? That hurts him. That's the first way you know he's regretting it. Then you'll see him trying to check in on you in little ways, not in bold, dramatic ways, not showing up at your door with roses or a grand apology. Sometimes men don't do that. They'll try to reach out subtly, casually, and hope you notice. It could be a text that seems innocent, a comment on social media, or even asking mutual friends how you're doing. Women, I'm telling you, these small gestures are him trying to reconnect. He wants to know if he still has a place in your life. Men are tricky that way. They won't always say, I regret losing you. No, that pride gets in the way, but his actions will tell you everything. If he's going out of his way to check on you, even in the smallest way, that's a huge indicator that he's regretting letting you go. Another way you'll know is through coincidences that aren't really coincidences. Maybe he shows up at places he never went to before, or suddenly he's at the same events you're attending. Now, don't be naive, ladies. I'm not saying he's stalking you. I'm saying when a man regrets losing you, he finds ways to see you without making it obvious. His ego won't let him admit it, but his heart will find a way to stay connected. Men regret what they lose, and that regret makes them try to remain in your orbit, even if they're pretending it's random. These little appearances, these small connections, they're all signs of a man thinking about what he lost. Now, let's talk about how he acts in front of you. This is tricky because he might act completely unbothered. He might even tease you, make jokes, or act like he doesn't care at all. And that's what makes it hard to spot. Pride keeps men from admitting regret. They don't want you to see their vulnerability because they know it gives you power. But behind that facade, he's thinking about you constantly. You might hear about it from mutual friends. You might catch him reminiscing about a memory you shared. You might see him doing things that remind him of you. Women, pay attention. The unbothered act is just a cover. Men regret losing what they cannot replace, and this act doesn't erase the feelings. They're just hidden under layers of pride and ego. And here's another thing you need to know. Men start to make mistakes they didn't make before. You might notice him trying too hard to impress others or suddenly acting differently in your presence. That's regret showing itself through behavior. Men don't always come and say, I miss you. Instead, they act out. They might become protective over the things they share with you or over their reputation with you. They may overcompensate in ways that seem confusing, but trust me, that's regret trying to make itself known without words. You'll also notice that he may reach out through friends or mutual connections. He might ask questions about you, see if you're okay, or even subtly let it slip that he misses certain things about you. This is classic. A man who regrets losing you doesn't always approach you directly because he doesn't want to lose face. But he will find ways to insert himself into your life quietly so he can see if there's a chance, even if he's pretending it's nothing. This is his heart and mind working overtime, trying to figure out if he can reclaim what he lost. And listen, sometimes the biggest sign is silence. When a man regrets losing you, he doesn't always act. Sometimes he withdraws. He watches from a distance. He analyzes the moments he could have done better. That silence, ladies, is loaded. It's filled with thoughts of regret, memories, and what ifs. He may appear unbothered, but inside, he's running through every scenario, wishing he had appreciated you more, treated you better, or fought harder to keep you. So, how do you know for sure? You look for the combination of these things. You see if he notices the little things you did for him. You watch for those subtle check-ins, the social media gestures, the coincidental appearances, the changes in his behavior, and the way he interacts with others about you. If these are happening, chances are he's regretting losing you. And make no mistake, ladies, this isn't about making him beg or making him pay. It's about recognizing human behavior. Men regret losing the women who made their lives better, who believed in them, who loved them unconditionally. It's natural. But I'll tell you this, don't get it twisted. Just because a man regrets losing you doesn't mean you owe him anything. Don't go back to someone who didn't value you the first time. Recognize the signs, yes. Understand the regret, yes. But always value yourself first. The right man doesn't have to lose you to realize you're priceless. He cherishes you from the start. But understanding regret can give you clarity. It can help you see who truly values you, even if they're too proud to admit it. Ladies, pay attention. Men may act unbothered, but regret has a way of showing itself in quiet, consistent ways. And when you see it, you'll know the truth. The man may not say it, but his actions will speak volumes. Now, ladies, I want you to really hear me when I say this. Regret doesn't always look the way you think it looks. Some women think if a man regrets losing them, he's going to show up at their door, crying, begging, or making a big scene. No, that's Hollywood. That's drama. Real life regret is quiet. It's subtle. It's in the little things that make you go, wait a minute. Is he really thinking about me? And I promise you, he is. One of the first ways you'll see it is in the way he talks about you or even just mentions you in passing. You know, men can't help themselves sometimes. They'll drop your name in conversation, talk about memories, or casually bring up something you used to do together. It might seem small, but it's huge. When a man regrets losing you, even if he acts unbothered, he can't stop his mind from going back to the good times. He remembers how you laughed, how you supported him when no one else did, how you made his life better. And even if he's pretending to the world like he doesn't care, inside, he's wishing he had appreciated you more. Another thing you'll notice is that he'll start comparing other women to you. I'm serious. Every woman he meets, every date he goes on, he's going to be thinking, she's okay, but she's not her. She's not like her. And it won't even be conscious at first. But eventually, he'll realize no one matches up to you. And when that happens, that's regret sneaking in. It's a quiet, burning realization that he let go of someone special and he can't replace her. That comparison is a dead giveaway, ladies. If he keeps saying things like, yeah, she's nice, but she's not what I had before, that's regret talking. Then you'll notice that he may start paying attention to your social media updates. And let me tell you something. Don't ever underestimate this. Men are prideful, and they won't just reach out to you directly. Pride gets in the way, but they will watch from a distance. They'll like your posts, comment subtly, or even share things they know you'll see. It's a way of keeping tabs, seeing what's happening in your life, and wondering if you're happy without them. It's quiet, sneaky, but it's real. A man who regrets losing you will do this because he's not ready to let go completely, even if he acts like he doesn't care. And pay attention to the little acts of kindness that start popping up. Maybe he's helping people you care about, sending gifts to mutual friends, or making sure you hear about him in positive ways. It's like he's trying to remind you and maybe even himself of the man he was when he had you. These small gestures are loaded with meaning. Men regret what they lose, and they'll go out of their way to show in indirect ways that they wish things had gone differently. Don't miss these subtle signals, ladies. They are louder than any dramatic confession. Another thing you'll see is the sudden change in behavior when you're around him. He may act cool and unbothered, but his body language gives him away. Men can't hide everything. He may fidget, glance at you more than usual, or even get quiet because he doesn't know what to say. He's thinking about you constantly, trying to figure out if he has a chance to reconnect, or wondering why he didn't value you more when he had the chance. Women, pay attention to these small tales. They are screaming regret. Then there's the old-fashioned memory play. Men who regret losing you will start to remember the little moments that made your relationship special. Maybe he's telling friends stories that include you, reminiscing about trips, dates, or private jokes. Even if he acts like he doesn't care, this is a clear sign of regret. He's revisiting the past, and what he's feeling is very real, even if he doesn't say it out loud. The stories he shares are a reflection of his longing, his awareness of what he lost, and sometimes his inability to move on. Now, let's talk about the indirect ways he may try to be in your life without actually being in your life. Maybe he shows up at events he never went to before, suddenly wants to be friends with people you're close to, or even pretends to care about things you like. It might seem random, but trust me, it's not. Men who regret losing someone will find ways to stay connected, even if they're doing it from a distance or under the radar. That's because regret doesn't disappear just because you act unbothered. He may not tell you he misses you, but he will try to insert himself into your life somehow. Another big one, ladies, is inconsistency. A man who regrets losing you may act hot and cold. One day he seems like he doesn't care. The next day he's reaching out in subtle ways. That's his mind and heart battling pride and ego. He's trying to convince himself he's fine, but regret keeps pulling him back. That inconsistency is a sign. Don't ignore it. It's his way of processing the loss while trying to save face. And pay attention to what you hear from others. Sometimes he may not come to you directly, but mutual friends will notice changes in him. They might tell you he's been asking about you, or that he's been talking about things you did together. This is classic regret behavior. He can't hide it completely, and eventually it leaks through. And when it does, don't brush it off. Listen closely. Men don't always confess regret, but their actions and words through others reveal the truth. Lastly, I want you to remember that pride is a powerful thing. A man may act unbothered, may try to convince himself and everyone else that he's over you, but deep down, he's replaying the moments he could have done better. He's wishing he appreciated you more, fought harder, or never let you go. Regret is quiet, persistent, and often invisible to those who aren't paying attention. But when you watch closely, you can see it in the way he behaves, the way he remembers, the way he tries to reconnect, and even in the moments he seems to disappear. So, ladies, if you see a man doing these things, pay attention. He may act like he's fine, like he's unbothered, but deep down, he's regretting losing someone incredible. And understanding these signs isn't about going back to him, it's about recognizing the truth, seeing human behavior, and knowing that regret doesn't always come with grand gestures. Sometimes it comes quietly, consistently, and in ways that only someone paying attention can notice. Ladies, let me tell you something. Men are funny creatures. They can walk around acting like the world doesn't matter, like they're totally fine. But inside, their mind is running in circles. That's the thing about regret. It doesn't always come out loud. Sometimes it hides behind pride, behind jokes, behind pretending to be unbothered. But make no mistake, a man who regrets losing you is thinking about it all the time. And if you're paying attention, you'll see the signs, even if he's trying to hide them. One of the first signs is subtle attention. Men don't always text you or call you. Some do, yes, but the ones who are prideful, the ones who think they can act like it's nothing, they'll watch from a distance. They'll like your pictures, comment casually, or even ask mutual friends about you. You might think it's coincidence or nothing, but trust me, it's not. That's him checking to see if you're happy, if life is moving on without him. And inside, it's killing him that he's not the one in your world anymore. That subtle attention is a powerful indicator of regret. Then you'll notice the comparisons he makes. Men who regret losing someone will compare every woman they meet to you, and none of them will measure up. They'll see qualities in other women and think, yeah, she's fine, but she's not her. She doesn't have what she had. And ladies, that's regret in action. It doesn't come out with grand declarations, it comes quietly, in thoughts, in memories, and in every failed attempt to find someone like you. It eats at them even when they try to act unbothered. Another thing to watch for is sudden interest in your life. He might ask about things he never cared about before, like how work is going, what projects you're involved in, or even casual things like how your family is doing. That's him trying to reconnect, trying to understand your life without making it obvious that he's thinking about you. Pride keeps him from being direct, but regret pushes him to find ways to stay in your orbit. And ladies, pay attention. These small, quiet efforts are louder than any words could ever be. You'll also see him reminiscing. Men who regret losing someone will start bringing up old memories. Maybe he tells a story to friends about something you did together. Maybe he laughs at a memory and you hear about it indirectly. That's his mind replaying moments he wishes he hadn't taken for granted. He's thinking about the things he missed, the things he didn't appreciate, and the mistakes he made. Even if he never comes out and says, I regret losing you, the stories and memories tell you everything you need to know. Then there's the body language. Ladies, pay attention to how he acts when you're around. He might act cool, joke around, or act like he doesn't care, but his body says otherwise. Maybe he leans in a little too much when talking. Maybe his eyes linger longer than they should. Maybe he gets quiet because he's thinking about what to say. Men are terrible at hiding feelings when they're around someone they care about. Even the ones who act unbothered will give themselves away in small gestures, glances, and the way they carry themselves around you. Another classic sign is inconsistency. One day he's distant, acting like nothing matters. The next day he's reaching out, asking questions, or showing interest. That's a man battling pride and regret at the same time. He's trying to convince himself he's over it, but he can't stop thinking about what he lost. That back and forth is a sure sign of regret. It may confuse you, but it's his heart and mind wrestling with the fact that he let something valuable slip through his fingers. Sometimes the signs come through others. Mutual friends, colleagues, or family might notice changes in his behavior. They might tell you he's been asking about you, talking about old times, or showing concern in subtle ways. Men can't always confess regret directly, but it leaks out through people around them. And if you notice this, don't ignore it. It's another piece of the puzzle showing that he's thinking about you, wishing things had been different. You may also see him trying to make small improvements in himself. Maybe he's changing habits, focusing on his appearance, or working on things he knows you value. Women, this is classic regret behavior. He's realizing that he let go of someone who brought out the best in him, and now he's trying quietly to become a better man, sometimes for himself, sometimes in hopes of crossing paths with you again. And finally, you'll notice that no matter how unbothered he acts, he's paying attention to you more than anyone else. Every little detail about your life, every change in your routine, he notices. Regret doesn't just go away because he pretends it does. It's persistent, constant, and sometimes invisible. But if you're watching closely, you can see it everywhere he goes. Ladies, the bottom line is this. A man may act unbothered, but regret has a way of showing itself in quiet, consistent ways. You just have to know how to read it. Pay attention to the subtle signs, his attention, comparisons, interest, reminiscence, body language, inconsistency, what others say, and the changes he makes. That's how you know he regrets losing you, even if he never says it out loud. Ladies, I want you to understand one thing about men and regret. Men don't always show what they feel the way women do. Sometimes they act like it doesn't bother them at all, like everything is perfectly fine. But deep down, regret is like a quiet storm. It rages inside, and even if he doesn't say a word, Even if he pretends to be unbothered, his actions and subtle behaviors will tell the story. You just have to know how to see it. One of the first signs is a sudden effort to impress you. He may have never cared about how he looked or what he did before, but after losing you, he starts paying attention. Maybe he's dressing better, taking better care of himself, or showing off accomplishments he never mentioned before. He's not doing it for anyone else. He's doing it because he realizes he let go of someone special. And ladies, don't ignore that. When a man regrets losing you, he wants to be the best version of himself, even if it's for his own pride. But part of it is hoping you notice. Then you'll see him drop hints about missing the past. He may joke about memories, mention times you shared, or bring up things that make you laugh and remember those moments. It may seem casual, but it's intentional. That's regret, trying to find a voice without making him vulnerable. Men hate admitting weakness, but when they're thinking about what they lost, those memories sneak out in conversations, jokes, or random remarks. It's his way of saying, without saying it, I messed up and I wish I hadn't. You'll also notice indirect attempts to reconnect. He may like or comment on your social media posts in ways that seem small, almost unnoticed. He may ask mutual friends about you, find reasons to be around your circle, or coincidentally appear where you are. That's not random. That's a man trying to stay in your life without losing face. Pride makes him act unbothered, but regret is persistent. He's thinking, analyzing, and hoping for even the smallest opening to remind you of what he lost. Another thing you'll see is emotional inconsistency. One day he's cold and distant, acting like it's no big deal, and the next day he's showing subtle interest or concern. That's the battle between pride and regret. He's trying to convince himself that he's fine, but the truth is, he's constantly thinking about what he lost and wishing things had gone differently. Ladies, don't mistake inconsistency for indifference. It's often the loudest sign of regret you'll see. Then there's the silent attention he pays to your life. He may not reach out directly, but he notices everything. Every change, every success, every little moment that reminds him of you. He might follow your achievements, know what you're doing, and even admire how you handle life without him. That's regret in its purest form, watching from a distance, wishing he had appreciated you while he had the chance. You may also notice that he's more generous or helpful in indirect ways. Maybe he starts doing things for mutual friends, offering help where he knows you'll hear about it, or making gestures that show he cares without saying it outright. Women, these small, subtle efforts are screaming regret. They're quiet, but they're consistent. Men who regret losing someone will find ways to show it without breaking their pride. Another sign is when he starts reflecting on his mistakes. Maybe he talks about lessons learned or mentions changes he's making in his life. He's realizing what he could have done differently with you. He may not say, I regret losing you, but every story he tells, every change he makes, and every small gesture is connected to that realization. Regret makes men think, analyze, and sometimes act in ways that seem random, but they're really all tied to losing someone they value. And let's not forget about subtle jealousy. You may notice he reacts when other men show interest in you or when he hears about someone new in your life. He may act calm and unbothered, but inside, it stings. That's the ego and pride masking the regret he feels. Men rarely express it openly, but their feelings are revealed in these small moments. That quiet sting is his way of processing the loss without admitting it. You might even notice him being nostalgic over trivial things. He'll remember inside jokes, favorite songs, or little quirks that only you had. It may come up in conversation or through others. That's his mind replaying the moments he wishes he hadn't taken for granted. Regret loves to revisit memories, especially the ones where he realizes he could have done better. Finally, even when he acts completely